Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
Chuck Hagel was like a deer in the headlights during his Senate confirmation hearing. Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. Matt, we have sent out an email to our supporters to make sure that they voice their opinion to their senators regarding the confirmation of Chuck Hagel, nominated by President Barack Obama to be the Secretary of Defense. And I know John Hagel recently sent out an email, and he gathered 400 pastors to Washington, D.C., and they went to the senators and voiced their opposition to Chuck Hagel. Why? Because of Hagel's position with regards to Israel and Islam and his just lack of competency in general to be the Secretary of Defense. During his confirmation hearings, he looked like a deer in the headlights. Horrible confirmation hearing for Chuck Hagel.
Yeah, our friend, the Honorable Ken Blackwell, former Secretary of State in Ohio and visiting professor here at Liberty University, he says he wrote this in a column: former Nebraska Senator Chuck Hagel's nomination to be Secretary of Defense should be withdrawn now. He delivered what may be the worst performance at a confirmation hearing ever given. He was described as confused, befuddled, and self-contradicting. One of Mr. Hagel's own backers deplored the lack of charisma the nominee showed during the hearings. Was this just a bad hair day for Mr. Hagel? Well, no, it wasn't a bad hair day for Mr. Hagel. I think it was a metaphor for how bad he will be in the position in which he's been nominated. This is the a fox watching the hen house here with his position on Israel, his support for Iran, and this just kind of is an explanation point on the fact that he's incompetent for the position.
Yeah, even Andrea Mitchell, the liberal commentator from NBC News, and she said, quote, Chuck Hagel is more comfortable asking questions than answering them. Well, Chuck Hagel would be the Secretary of Defense. He'd have to be speaking to some high-level people around the world and answering questions and carrying on an intelligent dialogue, but he couldn't do that in front of the Senate. He was asked questions about some of our helicopter programs and helicopter purchases and situations that we have in the military. He says, well, I don't know anything about that, but if I'm confirmed, I definitely will study up on that issue. I would think that you'd be confirmed as a Secretary of Defense because you know about these issues, because you're an expert. You've studied our defense. But he actually did not know about our helicopter program or purchases that we are involved with right now. But he will know, though, if he's confirmed. He's going to get some briefing on that.
Yeah. Well, he stumbled all over the place. Even the liberal Politico has pointed out that he stumbled in an article that they titled right after the hearing, Chuck Hagel stumbles on Iran questioning. To me, more than just his apparent inability to communicate properly and represent the United States, I think the bigger concern is his position on Iran. He said this about Iran, that it's an, quote, elected, legitimate government. Who says that about Iran?
Did you? I don't know if you have the full quote there, where he's stumbling all over the place. But Laura Ingram in her radio show played the entire clip of Chuck Hagel speaking about Iran. It's hard to even follow him. But he's talking about them being a legitimate elected government. He actually opposed sanctions against Iran. He opposed having any kind of sanctions against Iran. This is the kind of Secretary of Defense you want, somebody who doesn't want to become tough on Iran, a nuclear on the verge of moving forward with a nuclear weapon. In the hands of somebody like Ahmadinejad and that regime over there, they will use it because they don't care. We used to have MAD, mutually assured destruction, where the Soviet Union had nuclear capabilities, we had nuclear capabilities. But the reason why neither one pushed their finger to the button is because if the United States did, we would be attacked by Russia. If Russia did, they'd be attacked by us. In other words, both countries would have mutually assured destruction. Nobody wanted to commit suicide. Yeah. But the Iranian leadership would love to commit suicide and kill and wipe Israel off the map. They would love to, because it would bring in their 12th imam and the end of the world, and they would be able to be translated to heaven with 70 virgins. I mean, that's the mindset of these individuals. And you put a nuclear power into their possession. Hagel says, let's not give sanctions against them.
Well, I mean, how can we? Because they're legitimate and elected, and I mean, that's where this guy's coming from. You know, he's better suited as president of Code Pink than he is to be Secretary of Defense. I hope that this torpedoes his nomination. He really should just withdraw and step out at this point in time. He is none too popular.
He should, yeah. I mean, I think prayers have actually helped in this situation too. We hope that you continue and ask that you continue to pray for this nomination. We think it's a bad, very bad nomination. John Brennan for the director of the CIA is also a very bad nomination as well. We already have John Kerry, who's been not very supportive of Israel, not taking a hard line on Iran. He's now our Secretary of State. We've got him in the Secretary of State. Obama is the president. If we get the Secretary of Defense with Hagel and the director of the CIA with Brennan, who says that his worldview was shaped by Islam, we will have four people of the worst kind of antipathy to Israel and weak need to do anything against the Islamic terrorist in the Middle East. One of the things that Hagel was grilled about by Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina, is his statement about the Jewish lobby. Graham said to Hagel, let's talk a little bit about statements you've made. You've explained this a bit. You said the Jewish lobby intimidates a lot of people up here. I'm not an Israeli senator. I'm a United States senator. This pressure makes us do dumb things at times. You said the Jewish lobby should not have been, they should not have been used. Basically, it's kind of confusing, this dialogue here, but Graham says, name one person, in your opinion, who's intimidated by the Israeli lobby in the United States Senate. Name one person. Hagel says, well, first, Graham says, name one. Hagel says, I don't know. Well, Graham says, well, why did you say it then? Hagel says, I didn't have in mind a specific person. Do you agree that it's a provocative statement? Graham said. And he fumbled around with the response, couldn't give a good response. Yeah,
the Jewish lobby, that's code. I mean, that's anti-Semitic, and Hagel knows it. But that, it's amazing what will come out when people are speaking with candor. His anti-Semitism comes through in that statement. I think that's what Senator Lindsey Graham was getting to.
Well, and Graham says, name one dumb thing that we've been goaded into doing because of the pressure from the Israeli or Jewish lobby. Hagel replied, I've already said that I regret the terminology. But Graham says, but you said it back then that it makes us do dumb things. You can't name one senator intimidated. Now give me one example of the dumb things that we've been pressured to do up here. And he could not give one example.
Yeah, just remarkable. And in a time, Matt, where we have Islamic terrorists around the world, an administration that won't even use the term Islamic terrorism, it doesn't surprise me that this president would nominate an anti-Israel, pro-Iranian person for Secretary of Defense. But it should surprise everybody, and it should send a chill down your spine, Matt, because this is the last person we need in a position to defend our nation, in charge of national defense.
He's somebody who doesn't respect Israel, would be soft on Iran and the radical Islamic terrorists, doesn't understand our military, and doesn't respect our military, and is completely and utterly incompetent to be a Secretary of Defense. Other than that, I don't know what to say.
He's a great guy.
Go to Liberty Council's website, lc.org, lc.org. You can sign up for the Grassroots Action email right there at the Liberty Council website. And if you do that, you can be involved in having your voice heard on these and many other kinds of issues. We also have the Liberty Alert email as well. We have a lot of resources. This is one by David Barton, Original Intent, which talks about the founder's original understanding of the Constitution. A fascinating book, Original Intent by David Barton. I highly encourage you to read it. And we have many other resources as well. Remember Liberty Counsel in your prayers and your financial support. Go to lc.org or call us today at 1-800-671-1776 or lc.org.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.